Acum reacționăm la Chary. Tot face parte din primul videoclip. Riot Story. Deci este Why is this Paulus part missing among us? Riot Story. Ce? Da, bine.
Us crewmates are always curious about the unknown and want to know the answer to everything. And I'm sure this question has crossed at least once. Why is part of Polis missing? And well, I have the answer to that question.
Da.
Everything. And before we get any further into this video, if you enjoy my content more, let's try to hit our like of 25,000 likes.
Îmi place chiar, mă, la series prea bogăscă.
But now, let's begin
Este YouTuberul meu preferat. Ia uite aici.
HQ and the airship. Then we have the map of Polis, which is an entirely different planet. And this planet is known as Polis. They just named it the Polis map. I personally believe they should have named it something else, but whatever. Then we have two different planets that we don't have a name for. We have this turquoise planet, and as I said, there is no name for it. And the last and final planet is probably the most interesting one, which is this purple and orange planet, which looks very similar to Polis. And I'll explain later on, because I have a theory on why this planet looks similar to Polis. And now let's take a look at the rest of the things that we can see in space. And I'm getting all this information from the telescope, which can be found on Polis. We can also see a spaceship, which a lot of people say that's a scale, and I can see it, but I'm not entirely sure. It could be the spaceship that drops off the dropship. Then we have this sort of asteroid slash moon. To me, it looks more like an asteroid. Then we have a distant galaxy, which is most likely Andromeda, which is the Milky Way's nearest galaxy. And fun fact, scientists believe that the Milky Way and Andromeda will collide in 6 billion years. And the name of this galaxy will be Milkdromeda. Then we have this distant star, which is surrounded by a Dyson sphere. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a way of harnessing the energy from the sun, which is why it's surrounded. And that actually made me realize how advanced the crewmates really are. They can harness the energy from the sun? That's crazy. And lastly, we have this blue thing. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it looks somewhat similar to space dust. So I'm just gonna say it's space dust. So now you're most likely wondering, why do I need to know all this information? And it all has to do with him. It's Riot, one of the biggest imposters in all of Among Us. And he's the one that took a bite of Polis, and has been an enemy of the crewmates ever since. So how is one of the biggest imposters in Among Us enemies with the crewmates? Well, it all has to do with this planet, which is a sister planet to Polis. This planet is known to be very hot, with fires burning for years. And Polis is the complete opposite. It's a much colder planet, because you can see snow just about everywhere. So it turns out that there was actually life on this planet, and Polis wasn't the only one. This planet was more dangerous, because as I mentioned earlier, there was fires just about everywhere. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another... So in order for a creature to live in these harsh conditions, they have to be strong. And Riot was one strong creature that somehow managed to survive in these harsh conditions, which is incredible. So Riot was a small creature at the time. He would drag his body across the planet looking for food, and also shelter, since the conditions were horrible. Eventually, Dark found this planet, and Dark was having a conflict with the crewmates. Neither side wanted to give up. Even though the crewmates were small, they were strong in numbers. So Dark took Riot into space, because he saw that Riot has been on this planet for so long, and he knew that Riot was the chosen one. Since he managed to survive in harsh conditions, Dark knew that Riot would be powerful, and power is what Dark needed in order... for him to demoralize the crewmates and take them down. So Dark used one of his abilities, which made Riot grow in size. Riot became so big that you could see him from Polis. He was massive. Dark now had control one of the most powerful imposters to ever live. Dark ordered Riot to go to Polis, and Riot was a little hungry. So he took a bite of Polis, which was horrible for the crewmates. A huge chunk of the planet was now missing, and the entire planet was now filled with lava, which is why you can see the lava pool. There's lava just about everywhere. I'm honestly surprised that Polis managed to survive. Among Us, a game that we all enjoy, that you can play with your friends or by yourself. But things are not always as they seem. The first appearance deceives many, just like myself. When I first downloaded Among Us, I didn't know what to expect. After playing it with my friends, I had a lot of fun. But it was up until I decided to play by myself that I would begin to face many weird things. There was a lot of mystery surrounding this game on what came before us. Like, who were the first crewmates that were found on Skeld? Who created the Mira HQ base? How did the airship come from Henry Stickmin? And who discovered Polis? These are a few questions that you may have asked yourself at least once, but have no answer. But there is one thing that I have always wanted to know about Among Us, is where did the ghosts come from? Whenever you die, you become a ghost, and then you somehow come back to life the next game. And there is a lot of evil ghosts out there. For example, we have No Visor, Yes Visor, which is his brother, and a few others that haven't been discovered. But there is a ghost in Among Us that has been haunting the map of Polis, which is Andromeda. And if you ever see her, make sure you're very careful. And let me tell you why. But before we get any further into this video, if you these type of videos, and if you're new to the channel and don't want to miss out on any of my story videos, make sure that you hit that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on. So the map of Polis was released on November 12, 2019. The events is even broken. So what exactly is a map of Polis? It looks very different compared to the other maps. The scale and the airship map are ships. Mira HQ is an entire base, and Polis is just Polis. It looks different, and that is because Polis is an entire different planet. Did she know that she would never see them again? To power the entire base, Andromeda was a pretty smart girl. Several engineers were then sent to the map of Polis to start building a base. She collected several critters that can be on Polis. He felt even Unknown walked in. Andromeda was feeling very weird about him until